What if there was a 2,300-year-old mental hack that could give you the unshakable confidence of Roman emperors? Marcus Aurelius used it to rule the world's most powerful empire while dealing with plagues and betrayals. Modern CEOs and elite athletes use it today to perform under extreme pressure. And in the next minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to rewire your brain using the same system. But first, and this might shock you, 99% of people are doing mental strength completely backwards. Here's what we mean. Right now, you're probably stressed about your job, worried about what others think, anxious about the future, angry about things that happened last week. Sound familiar? Here's the brutal truth. You're fighting battles you literally cannot win. You're spending mental energy on things completely outside your control, while ignoring the one thing you have total power over. And we'll tell you what that is in just a moment. But this isn't your fault. We live in the most mentally exhausting time in human history. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day, desperately seeking validation. Social media feeds constant comparisons. News cycles flood everyone with things they can't influence. We've all become emotional ping-pong balls, bouncing between reactions instead of making conscious responses. So what's the alternative? What if you could develop the mental strength to stay calm when everyone else is panicking? What if setbacks actually made you stronger instead of crushing you? What if you could build genuine confidence that no external force could shake? That's exactly what Stoicism teaches. And before you think this is just ancient philosophy, Tim Cook uses it to run Apple. Tom Brady used it to win 7 Super Bowls. Countless entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders rely on these principles because they work in the real world. Stoicism was created in ancient Greece, but it exploded in Rome because Romans needed practical tools for impossible situations. These weren't armchair philosophers debating abstract ideas. Marcus Aurelius was managing wars, plagues, and political chaos while writing his thoughts on Stoicism. Epictetus developed his teachings after experiencing slavery. They needed mental tools that actually worked under extreme pressure. And here's the core insight that changes everything. You cannot control what happens to you, but you have complete control over how you respond. This isn't positive thinking or denial. It's radical acceptance combined with total personal responsibility. Let's prove this to you right now. Think about the last time you were really stressed or angry. We guarantee it was about something outside your direct control, someone else's behavior, a situation at work, something that happened or might happen. You were essentially trying to control the weather with your emotions. Exhausting, right? Now imagine if you could flip a switch in your brain and immediately focus only on what you can actually influence. That's the first pillar of Stoic mental training, the circle of control. Picture a circle. Inside this circle are things you completely control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your effort, your character. Outside this circle is literally everything else. Other people's opinions, the economy, the past, the future, what happens to you. Most people spend 90% of their mental energy outside their circle. Stoics spend 100% of their energy inside it. Here's how this looks in practice. You're stuck in traffic, getting furious because you're going to be late. Traditional response: honk, curse, stress about things you can't change. Stoic response: you can't control traffic, but you can control your reaction. How do you want to show up when you arrive? What can you do with this time right now? Same situation, completely different experience. You go from victim to strategic thinker in seconds. But here's where Stoicism gets really powerful, the second pillar. The Stoics had a radical perspective on problems that will blow your mind. They believed every obstacle contains the seeds of equal or greater benefit. They literally said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This sounds crazy until you see it in action. Ryan Holiday got fired from his dream job, and it forced him to become a best-selling author. Steve Jobs got kicked out of Apple, and it led to his greatest innovations. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, and it fueled his legendary work ethic. The obstacle literally became the path, and you can train your brain to see this pattern everywhere. Right now, think about your biggest current problem. You need to ask 3 questions. What skill is this forcing you to develop? What weakness is this revealing that you can strengthen? How might this redirect you toward something better? This isn't toxic positivity, it's strategic reframing. You're not pretending problems don't exist. You're training your mind to find the hidden opportunities that problems always contain. The third pillar is something Marcus Aurelius mastered while running an empire: present moment mastery. Here's a truth that will change how you experience life. Anxiety lives in the future. Depression lives in the past. But power lives right here, right now. Most people's minds are time machines, constantly jumping between regret and worry. Stoics anchor themselves in the only moment where they actually have influence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the future doesn't matter, but because the present is where you build the future." Here's a simple practice that works immediately. Throughout your day, come back to this question. What does this moment require of you? Not what you wish was happening, not what might happen later, but what excellence looks like right here, right now. This single question will transform how you show up. The fourth pillar is what separates Stoicism from every other philosophy: virtue as your ultimate strength. The Stoics identified 4 core virtues that create unshakable character: wisdom, seeing clearly and learning continuously; justice, treating others fairly and doing what's right; courage, facing challenges and taking necessary action; temperance, self-discipline and emotional regulation. These aren't abstract ideals, they're practical superpowers. Every single situation gives you chances to practice virtue. Dealing with a difficult person, that's justice and wisdom training. Facing a scary decision, that's courage practice. Tempted to react emotionally, that's temperance development. Instead of asking, "How do you get what you want?" start asking, "What would the wisest, most just, most courageous, most disciplined version of yourself do right now?" This question alone will upgrade every decision you make. Now let's destroy some myths that stop people from using Stoicism. Myth number 1. Stoics don't feel emotions. Completely false. Stoics feel emotions fully. They just don't let emotions make their decisions. They experience the feeling, understand its message, then choose their response consciously. That's emotional intelligence, not emotional numbness. Myth number 2. Stoicism is passive acceptance. Wrong again. Stoics are incredibly active within their circle of control. They accept what they cannot change precisely, so they can focus maximum energy on what they can influence. That's strategic, not passive. Myth number 3. Stoicism makes you cold and unfeeling. Marcus Aurelius was known for his kindness and compassion. Many Stoics were loving parents and loyal friends. Stoicism creates space for love by removing the anxiety and control issues that often damage relationships. So how do you actually start building this mental strength? Every time you feel stressed, anxious, or frustrated, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control or outside my control? If it's outside your control, practice accepting it and redirecting energy to what you can influence. Identify your biggest current challenge. Write down 3 ways this obstacle might actually be serving your growth or redirecting you towards something better. Train your brain to see problems as training, not punishment. Set random phone alarms throughout the day. When they ring, ask yourself, what does this moment require of me? And how can you show up with excellence right now? This breaks the time machine pattern and anchors you in your power zone. Spend 10 minutes each evening reviewing your day through the lens of the 4 virtues. What did you do well? What could improve? What did you learn? This creates a feedback loop for continuous growth. Here are your daily mantras to rewire your thinking. You control your thoughts, actions, and responses. This obstacle is developing your strength. You focus on what you can influence. You choose virtue over convenience. Let's see how this works in real situations. At work, instead of being frustrated by difficult colleagues, see them as opportunities to practice patience and communication skills. Instead of being devastated by setbacks, use them as data for improvement. Control your effort and attitude, not outcome. Focus on process goals rather than results goals. View criticism as free consulting. In relationships, remember you can't control others' behavior, but you can control your responses. Focus on being the kind of person you'd want to be in relationship with. Practice forgiveness, not for others, but for your own peace. Set boundaries based on your values, not others' reactions. For personal growth, traditional self-help focuses on getting more. More confidence, more success, more happiness. Stoicism focuses on needing less validation, less control over externals, less dependence on circumstances for peace. Shift from how can you avoid problems to how can you handle problems better, from why me to what now. From you need this to be happy to you can be content regardless. The Stoics understood something we're just rediscovering. External circumstances don't determine your quality of life. Your internal responses do. You can't control the storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain. This isn't about becoming emotionless or passive. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent and strategically active. It's about building a mind so strong that no external force can shake your core peace. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in history, yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." If these principles worked for someone managing that level of responsibility and pressure, they can work for you. The question isn't whether you'll face obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. You will. The question is whether you'll be prepared. Stoicism is that preparation. It's mental training for life's inevitable difficulties and a framework for turning every experience into growth. Start today. Pick one principle. Practice it consistently. Watch how it transforms. Not just how you handle problems, but how you show up in the world. Your future self, the one who remains calm in chaos, finds opportunity in obstacle, and lives with unshakable inner strength, is waiting for you to begin. Which of these 4 pillars resonates most with you? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more practical philosophy that actually works in the real world. Your journey to mental mastery starts now.